I'm a little bit tired, you know. I wanna home.
You're going to rest now. There's already a tweet gone out from you saying, maybe I fight Moses Itauma as well. Is that true?
I don't know. Listen, I don't know because now I wanna think what next.
Right? That would, garner him, and get him the experience he needs to compete with a Usyk, right? But right now, it's just not the time. I just think it's just too early, okay?
Looking at fights to kind of get me into that later round because I feel like with Usyk, I feel like I've got a better skill set than him. I feel like towards the later rounds, he'll just outdo me because I've never been in that sort of fight.
After his knockout victory, Moses Itauma boldly called out Oleksandr Usyk, who later responded with measured thoughts. Usyk acknowledged a young heavyweight impressive talent, but emphasized his own need for rest before deciding his next move. He stated he would carefully evaluate whether to face Itauma or consider an alternative opponent.
I am with him right now. He's speaking with Joseph Parker.
This time I wanna rest.
You want to win?
Yeah, I wanna rest.
Congratulations, champ. You were absolutely incredible tonight. Did you enjoy that performance?
Yeah, I'm very happy. Listen, I'm very happy. I train hard. 3.5 months. I not look my family, my children. Now I'm a little bit tired, you know. I wanna home.
You're going to rest now. There's already a tweet gone out from you saying, maybe I fight Moses Itauma as well. Is that true?
I don't know. Listen, I don't know because now I wanna think what next. What next? Who my next opponent? Because now I have time and think about my career and the next fight.
You're loved in Ukraine, but I really do think you are loved by us here as well, and it showed tonight.
Thank you so much. I love UK people because it's a special fans, you know.
And you know the final thing, people are now going to start talking about you as one of the greatest of all time. Does that mean something to you, to be one of the very greatest fighters and heavyweights of all time?
Thank you so much, bro.
Cheers.
Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor stirred controversy on social media when he tweeted, Whyte took a // dive. You can't convince me that kid can beat Usyk. His blunt statement ignited heated debate among fans, many of whom questioned whether Moses Itauma's knockout victory over Dillian Whyte was genuine dominance or merely luck. Taylor's remarks highlighted ongoing doubts about Itauma's ability to compete with proven elite champions like Oleksandr Usyk. Meanwhile, promoter Turkey Usyk has expressed strong interest in staging a generational clash between Usyk and Itauma. He described it as the ultimate showdown between an old lion and a young lion. On one side stands Usyk, a fighter defined by years of experience, refined technique, and championship pedigree. On the other is Itauma, whose hunger, power, and youthful ambition embody the next era. This matchup already fascinates fans, raising the timeless question, can youth overpower wisdom?
Usyk is demanding the Moses Itauma versus Oleksandr Usyk fight. That's the fight that he would like to make happen, as you guys just read in the caption. And let me counterpunch. That sounds good. You know, I think that Turkey is looking for someone to beat Usyk. And Moses' name is just the next name up, especially in his own personal interest. It's not Joseph Parker. I don't know what's the deal with Parker. I don't know why he doesn't like Parker. Parker to me is more like a Jon Snow because, he gets in battles and he gets scrapes and bleeds and abrasions and battle scars, but he ends up victorious at the end of the day, right? So that's what Joseph Parker reminds me of. But I think that it should be in order. It should be in order to fight. I don't think that a guy with 13 fights is or should be awarded that type of fight. Now, if the fight happened, it would be pretty Southpaw versus Southpaw. Old lion versus young lion. And I know Moses would jump on the opportunity if getting it, and he may get it. Depends on how bad does Turkey want it? Because if Turkey really wants this fight, if he really, really wanted that fight, he's going to offer enough money for Usyk to go in there. Because I think it's about Usyk now, Moses. You know what I mean? And also, something else you have to factor in is it's not all about what Turkey wants. It's also, and it should be, about what the sanctioning bodies demand.
Moses Itauma has spoken boldly, declaring that his skill set is superior to Oleksandr Usyk's, a claim that has fueled intense debate. Usyk is widely recognized as one of the most complete fighters of his generation, praised for his footwork, precise combinations, and ability to adapt against any opponent. Yet, at just 20 years old, Itauma insists his mix of speed, power, and composure can eclipse even a champion of Usyk's caliber. While critics dismiss his words as youthful overconfidence, others view them as the fearless mindset of a new generation ready to challenge greatness.
Must have a view of what level you're at now.
If you want my honest opinion, I think
I do.
if my skill set, if you're talking about my ring IQ and what I display in the ring, I feel like I am the best in the world, but I haven't displayed the later rounds. That's all what I kind of want to get ticked off. So my next opponent or opponents this year, we're just looking at fights to kind of get me into that later round, because I feel like with Usyk, I feel like I got a better skill set than him. I feel like towards the later rounds, he'll just outdo me, because I've never been in that sort of fight.
Many boxing analysts have voiced concerns about rushing Moses Itauma into a fight with Oleksandr Usyk. Their main argument is that Usyk is a seasoned master of the sport, having faced and overcome a wide range of styles and elite opponents. He has proven himself against some of the best heavyweights in the world and possesses unmatched ring intelligence. By contrast, Itauma remains at the early stage of his professional career, still developing the experience needed to compete at that level.
Itauma can fight and beat the likes of Oleksandr Usyk, which everybody, His Excellency Turkey Usyk is stating that he would love to make a fight with Usyk and Moses Itauma. That's the fight to be made. Me personally, I think it's too early in his career. At 20 years old, Usyk knows all the tricks of the trade. Usyk is very athletic. Okay, he's a southpaw. He's slick. He knows how to buy time. He knows how to control distance and range. He has an extremely high ring IQ. I think that's a step too far for Moses Itauma right now, right? But this is what Turkey want to see, and obviously Moses has a puncher's chance. Okay, he has a puncher's chance to land a big punch on Oleksandr Usyk, he's bigger than him. Usyk is 6'3" with a 78-inch arm reach. So Moses is bigger than him, right? And he obviously has a puncher's chance.
Analysts point out that Moses Itauma's most significant win came against Dillian Whyte, who was inactive at the time and well past his prime. While the victory was impressive, they argue that defeating a declining veteran does not warrant an immediate showdown with a generational talent like Oleksandr Usyk. Instead, they suggest it would be wiser for Itauma to gain more experience by testing himself against fighters closer to his own age and stage of development. Names like Joseph Parker or other active contenders are seen as better stepping stones before making the ultimate leap.
Oleksandr Usyk, he's bigger than him. Usyk is 6'3" with a 78-inch arm reach. So Moses is bigger than him, right? And he obviously has a puncher's chance. But with that said, I just think that, that's a step too far. There's other names that I can see Moses Itauma fight. Fight the likes of Joseph Parker, right? Big J, okay? There's names out there that he can fight, right? That would, garner him, and get him the experience he needs to compete with a Usyk, right? But right now, it's just not the time. I just think it's just too early, okay? I think that, we need to allow this young man to grow, right? And then, we talk about Usyk. The problem is Usyk is 39, 40 years of age.
Trainer Ben Davidson has offered a unique perspective on the potential clash, describing it as a rare opportunity for both fighters. He notes that Oleksandr Usyk has never faced Moses Itauma, and vice versa. which instantly adds intrigue to the matchup, while acknowledging Usyk's vast experience. Davidson highlights that the Ukrainian has yet to encounter a youthful heavyweight with Moses' particular blend of speed, power, and fearless aggression. From his point of view, this fight would not only serve as a true test of Moses' character, but could also present Usyk with an unfamiliar challenge. Davidson believes Moses might be the type of opponent capable of pushing Usyk into uncomfortable, uncharted territory.
In the Ring magazine, they've put out a tweet tonight or an Instagram post saying that they've been informed that Turkey wants to see Usyk and Moses next. What do you think about that?
Let's see. You know, he's just had a big fight. I think, you know.
Is he ready for that in your opinion? Just your opinion. Is he ready for
I think it's one of them fights where it's a win-win. The experience he'd gain from it, the opportunity to really, you know, if Usyk was to box Dillian Whyte, people wouldn't say it would be a one-round job before tonight had happened. And I think, what he'd learn from it, the opportunity. And as much as that Moses hasn't been in there with somebody like Usyk hasn't been in there with someone like Moses either.
Derek Chisora has delivered a blunt warning to Moses Itauma, urging him to avoid pursuing a fight with Oleksandr Usyk at this stage of his career. Chisora believed the young heavyweight is still far too inexperienced, and chasing inactive or aging legends is not the right way to establish himself. Having shared the ring with many elite names, Chisora understands the dangers of rushing into high-profile bouts without proper development. He stresses that Itauma should focus instead on facing active contenders who are closer to his level, as these fights will provide more meaningful experience. While a clash with a legend may generate headlines, Chisora insists it won't equip Moses with the lessons and resilience needed for a long, successful.
He's going to go out after the fight. So let's say Dillian does get the win. Who do you want to see him with next?
No, if Dillian wins it, I'll be taking out.
And what about Moses? What next to him? Is it Oleksandr Usyk?
Huh?
If Moses gets the win, what next? Is it Oleksandr Usyk or is that too soon?
Leave Usyk alone. Usyk's a beast, man. Different beast.
Derek, what next for you? When are we going to see you next in the ring?
Right now, I'm going to go sit down on the ringside and enjoy the fight.
Joseph Parker has offered a more measured perspective on the potential matchup, acknowledging that a fight between Oleksandr Usyk and Moses Itauma is certainly possible, but ultimately rests on Usyk's timeline and choices. As one of boxing's reigning champions and a battle-tested veteran, Usyk has earned the right to determine when and against whom he competes next. Parker notes that if Usyk decides he is ready to face Moses, negotiations could naturally follow. However, he avoids fully endorsing the idea, stressing instead that both teams must carefully weigh the timing, context, and long-term implications before moving forward with such a significant fight.
I am with Joseph Parker. Yeah, what did you make of that, Joseph?
Explosive and quick, faster than a lot of people thought. We thought it was going to be 3-4 rounds, and if it gets past that, it'll be a bit harder fight. But you know, one round, every fighter wants to come out and be explosive and knock on the bone and go home and choke.
It's silly of me to say, do you want Moses next? Because really, you want Oleksandr Usyk, don't you?
Yeah, I want Usyk next. I know Usyk's deserves his time to relax and chill with his family. When he's ready, I'll love to open up negotiations and see if we can make the fight happen.
Does that extension clause with the sanctioning body give you more hope that it may well happen?
You just don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen. There's an extension to buy more time to an injury, and hopefully, you know, when he does decide to come back, then we can negotiate, and if we can make it happen, it'll be awesome.
Listen, we love you, and you're all about you, and we want you to be a world champion again, and I think you will be. But just say a final word on what we've witnessed tonight in the 20-year-olds who may be the coming force eventually.
Listen, he did a tremendous job. I was just watching it now. I don't really see it properly, but he, power.
Promoter Frank Warren has voiced his excitement over the idea of a potential clash between Oleksandr Usyk and Moses Itauma, though he remains careful not to rush the process. He admits the prospect of such a fight is highly appealing, and if Usyk Usyk, who has become a key figure in staging major boxing spectacles in Saudi Arabia, pushes for it, then serious talks could certainly take place. Still, Warren emphasizes that nothing is currently in motion. Any decision would require agreement from all parties involved, including Usyk's camp, Moses' team, and the event organizers. While acknowledging fans' eagerness, Warren insists timing and circumstances must align before the matchup can become reality.
Exclusive for you is that the WBO about a month ago put out that Joe Parker, who's their interim champion, has to challenge against Usyk, and Usyk has to defend against him. He's put a letter into yesterday stating, so I found out today, stating that he's asked him for an extension period because he's injured before being ordered to do anything. But whatever happens, the fact of life is that Joe Parker will either fight as champion if Usyk vacates the title, or he will fight Usyk for the title. So it's exciting times. If Moses were to win, or even if Dillian wins, whoever wins that fight, they're in the one spot. And if the fight doesn't happen with Usyk and Joe, then Joe will have to fight the official #1 contender.
Gosh, so that should be really fascinating, shouldn't it? Thank you for that little bit of exclusive there. And so are you just telling us there in that exclusive that Usyk's got an injury at the moment, and that's what he's coping with?
His camp have written to asked him for a period of time to before they have to defend the title.
Eddie Hearn praised Moses Itauma's impressive performance, while also expressing sympathy for Dillian Whyte, who suffered a shocking knockout defeat. He acknowledged that Whyte earned a solid payday, though the outcome was far from what most anticipated. For Moses, the win marked a major milestone in his career, but Hearn cautioned against rushing. Instead, he views the victory as an important stepping stone rather than a springboard toward an immediate showdown with Usyk.
You don't seem as impressed or sad? Oh, of course impressed. Very impressed, but just a bit sad for Dillian. Like, he shouldn't really have been in there, if I'm honest, but what? You know that. You know that.
Lee, what you've got to say?
That's not what I said first. No. Special kid Moses is. I don't think, like, that was the worst matchup for him with no activity. And I felt like that was always going to happen.
Dillian Whyte's career, that would have looked similar to that stay listening.
He's brilliant. But I was sad. I found it, knowing Dillian and everything, at 38 years old, I found it quite hard to watch.
I just have to ask, whilst he's there, the Warrington fight, are we going to see that next?
Oh, we love the fight. I mean, the problem is with Lee Wood, fuck me, I gave him some money. Jesus Christ. And now, obviously, every fight has its value, I always say. And that's a big value fight. It's a great fight for both. It's the final roll of the dice for both. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I'll be interested to see how it plays out. We're definitely interested in making it happen.
TalkSport analysts have debated what the next step should be for Moses Itauma. While acknowledging that a showdown with Usyk would be massive, they suggest it may be more sensible to first match him against Joseph Parker or other proven heavyweights. They argue that although the victory over Dillian Whyte was impressive, it isn't enough to prove Moses is ready to face a living legend like Usyk at this stage of his career.
Go with him now. It wouldn't surprise me if they put him in a world title fight in 2 fights' time.
Yeah, well, we're going to see what Oleksandr Usyk's been given this extension with the WBO title. Joseph Parker obviously is the interim champion. Parker may take another route. He's very well ranked in the WBC as well. You don't know, all these moving parts. And like you say, the main man, Turkey Al-Sheikh, the guy that puts the money up, he will decide what he wants to do there. But if that WBO title becomes vacant, don't be surprised that you do not see Joseph Parker fighting for that title, but you see a vacant title going in with Moses Itauma versus Filip Hrgovic. That's the fight I could see for the vacant title.
For all the patience that Moses showed tonight, for all the precision he showed to put Dillian Whyte away, we still don't know what's going to happen when he's in the trenches, do we?
It's always the case, isn't it? Whenever you get a fantastic young talent coming through. I remember they said it's about now.
And Bruno.
The list goes on. It's a long one. And there will be somebody somewhere who can take the shots and who will put it on him. And then the questions will be asked, and it's whether or not he's got the answers. There'll be people out there. Somebody will do it.
Despite the ongoing doubts and debates, one fact is undeniable. Moses Itauma has displayed remarkable promise for a fighter so young. His victory over Dillian Whyte was about more than just a knockout. It was the way he carried himself in the ring. His speed, composure under pressure, and ability to capitalize on opportunities set him apart, signaling the rise of a serious contender. At just 20 years old, Moses has already created a significant buzz in the boxing world. Both fans and pundits praise his natural talent, confidence, and maturity beyond his years. Whether he takes on Usyk soon or follows a more gradual path, Itauma has already established himself as a future force in the heavyweight division.
In the world. Oh my goodness. I mean, let's be honest. We all expected Moses to win. But not in 2 minutes. The man annihilated Dillian Whyte in 2 minutes. And the man, I mean, listen. Let me give you the truth about Moses Itauma. This is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Speed kills. And Moses Itauma is one of the fastest heavyweights I have ever seen in my life. Is he faster than Mike Tyson? Of course not. But for this generation and this era, he is the fastest and youngest heavyweight that we have in our generation. Now Moses Itauma, oh my God, southpaw, deadly puncher, lightning quick, intelligent, smart, cerebral at just 20 years old, ladies and gentlemen. That is crazy. And even if you think about it, the man has been dangerous. I mean, he just knocked out Dillian Whyte a few minutes ago.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more.